Hey YouTube, it's Annabelle. So today I'm going to be doing a video on my tips for potty training and kind of tell you how we did things. Now I get a lot of questions on potty training and how we did it from people that I know because our daughter was potty trained by the time that she was 2. Now our story is a little bit longer than most people's potty training stories. I have a friend whose son is 3 and it took him 2 days to get potty trained, and that is awesome. He was completely ready for it, and he wasn't ready until they started trying, and in 2 days he was potty training. Now our story is a little bit longer and a little bit more complicated. Our journey lasted about 12 months. It was about 8 months until my daughter was potty trained the first time, and then we had some big life changes, and that kind of set her back, and we had to kind of start over. So this is going to be kind of like a whole discussion about how we potty trained our daughter and how she was potty trained before she was 2. Again, she's almost 2.5, so the past 6 months have been completely awesome, and I'll kind of take you along on the road with me on how we got there. Okay, so how we started off was a purely selfish move on my part. We are a cloth diapering family. And so my daughter was in cloth diapers, and anybody who cloth diapers, or if you've heard about cloth diapering, you know that when you have a child poop in the diaper, you have to spray it out if they're eating solids, so that way you can then wash it. So you have to spray that poop out, and it's just an extra chore that I wanted to get rid of. Now it was easy for me, and the decision to do it came from the fact that my daughter made a grunting sound when she pooped. So every time she would poop, she would go, ah! So you knew that she was pooping. Now what we did is we just started putting her on the potty every time she made that sound. So she would poop in the toilet and save me some cloth diaper cleanup work. And so again, purely selfish, but that's how it started out. So we did that for a couple months, and then all of a sudden she started peeing when she pooped on the potty, and then it just kind of all flowed from there. So here's kind of what we started off doing. So to avoid the being afraid of big potties or not wanting to go potty in public because there's a big potty there, we did not get a potty seat. Instead, we got a cushy seat. So it's just a like soft seat that makes like the toilet smaller, so that way your child doesn't fall in. So my daughter loved this because when it was her time to go potty, she could get this, she puts it on the potty herself, and then it slowly evolved into her climbing up on the potty herself. But this is what we started off with, is a cushy seat at home. So anytime that she grunted, we would stick her on the potty. Now, in the beginning, we didn't catch her right away, like she was already done going by the time we got to the bathroom. We had some times where she was halfway done, and so she went half in her diaper, half on the potty. And again, in the beginning it was just poop until she peed one day. Now when she went pee-pee on the potty, we made a huge deal about it. Like we did a dance, we like yelled and screamed, like it was just like a big huge event. And like some of those commercials, they're like the first time on the potty, celebrating the first flush and things like that. I wanted my daughter to know that going on the potty was absolutely normal. That's why we first started sitting her on the potty just right before she was 1, and she was used to it. She knew that mommy goes on the potty, daddy goes on the potty, and now she went on the potty. And so we started talking about pee-pee goes on the potty and poo-poos goes on the potty. And where do you go when you have to go pee-pee or poo-poos? On the potty. So we just started kind of rehearsing that kind of stuff, and so she got better with it. And she was still like going in her diaper for naps and for overnight. But we still just kind of like just kept trucking along doing it during the day. Now when we started like actually full-blown potty training was when my daughter was dry during nap time and mostly dry overnight. My daughter laid down with a drink, so she was still going in her diaper overnight, but for us that wasn't a big deal. We still stuck a diaper on her. Again, like we still put a diaper on her for purely selfish reasons. We didn't want to have to wash her pack and play after a nap, and we didn't want to wash her bedding in the morning and have her like laying in pee all night. So just for her benefit and our benefit, we still stuck her in a diaper. And one of the things that we did get, which is another great tip, is getting a, this is our travel potty. So it just folds up, and then that is for travel potty, and it goes in this little bag. And that is what has gone with us in the diaper bag until just recently. Right now, what we've been working on the last couple months is every time we go out of the house, we're trying to get her used to balancing herself on the potties in public. So she's no longer using her potty seat. We're not even taking it with us anymore because she's just doing fabulous. So she's learning how to hold herself up and go pee-pee in public restrooms. When we're at home, she uses the bathroom all by herself. Now we don't help her at all. She knows how to wipe and all that kind of stuff. So she puts her cushy seat up there. She now crawls on by herself from the floor. We did use a step stool, which is another tip that I have besides the cushy seat is in the bathroom. If you're going to be using the big potty, get a step stool so they can step up there and pull their pants down and their panties down, and then they can feel more independent. So we kind of started, when we started early, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're having your kids sit on the potty? Like, she's one. But it kind of all flowed and worked really well. We weren't pressuring her. She didn't get in trouble for going in her diaper. She didn't get in trouble for going in her training pants when we started her on training pants. It was all a nice, easy going, flowing process because I wanted it to be a natural thing. Again, mommy uses the potty, daddy uses the potty, and I use the potty. That's what we wanted to kind of communicate with her, is that this is where we go. And she was things were starting to click when she was one, and she was starting to recognize this goes with this, and this is what I do. And so with the potty, we've made it this big, huge event. So we go potty, we were practicing wiping, how to wipe properly with pee and poop. Still, even today, she doesn't quite get everything when she goes number 2. So I do like to help her with that, and we do use moist wipes for when she goes number 2. But again, it's not a big deal. If she needs help, she calls for me, and then I come and help her in the bathroom. And we made it a washing our hands time too. So that kind of all went into this big event. She got to go potty, she got to flush the toilet, she got to close the lid, she got to tell her pee-pees and poo-poos bye-byes, and we kind of did this thing, we said, see you never. And then she would get up to the sink and she'd wash her hands, and when the whole thing was done, she felt like such a big girl. And so that was kind of a learning process along with the whole thing. And now, again, she can use the potty all by herself, so it is awesome. Now, as for training pants, when we started doing potty training full force, I had already been keeping a calendar. Our calendar in the kitchen has pretty big spaces for each date, and what I would do is I would write whether she was wet or dry in the morning, whether she was wet or dry waking up from nap. And when she was dry at nap time and mostly dry overnight is when we started the training pants. She was dry in her diaper, and she was starting to be able to verbalize pee-pee and poo-poos or potty, saying that and communicating that with us. So we did try these shower cap training pants. I hate these. They make a big, huge sound. They are gigantic and they don't work. I've tried everything to get these to hold something, and they just don't. So do not waste your money on these. So my daughter's first official training pants, since I hated those, were these. And these are the cloth training pants. They just have extra fabric in the middle to catch any dribbles and stuff. I love these. So we called these underwear, and then we called her panties panties. So this was the main goal, is to get her to be in her panties. These have Minnie and Daisy all over them. She has 3 different kinds of these. She's got some pink ones that she always wears first. As soon as they're all in the laundry, she wears these, and then she's got some plain white ones with just one figure on the front that she wears last, when we're doing laundry and stuff like that. But these are the ultimate goal, and she wanted to be a big girl and wear the pretty panties. So we kind of use these as a reward. So if she would not go in her diaper and be dry, she got to wear her underwear. And so once we were completely out of diapers during the day, except for nap time and nighttime, which is, again, what we did, the purely selfish thing is we put a diaper on her so we wouldn't have to do like bedding laundry. When she was completely out of diapers, we put her in the training pants, and then the ultimate goal was to have no dribbles and no accidents, so that way she could move up to her panties. So these were a definite like big score with my daughter. She got to pick them out. She loves her panties, and that's how we did for nap time and then overnight time. When she was completely dry during nap time, we'd mark it on the calendar, and when she got to be completely dry over nap time, 1 to 2 weeks, then she got to wear her panties. And then if she had an accident in her panties, then she would have to go back to her underwear, and that was like not fun. So it was just to catch the dribbles and things like that, and also make it like that the panties were a reward. And so that's how we kind of used them. So once she was dry for a period of time, she got to like move up to the next level, and she enjoyed that so much, and it was great. So I'm wearing panties, and then she would start showing everybody her panties, which that wasn't completely appropriate, and we were tried to like tell her, be like, no, we don't show anybody our panties, but she was so proud that she got to wear her panties. It was very exciting for her. Okay, so where we are at for the last 6 months, right before that, sorry, last fall we did have, or end of summer, like end of summer, early fall last year, we transferred her into a big bed. And that did not go well. The big bed went fantastic. With 3 nights, she was sleeping all night in her big bed. That went great. However, with such a big change in her life, and changing like sippy cups and like just other changes, we've noticed that we've had some potty training regression anytime something big happened. So if I would have known that, I would have waited to kind of move on to the next step until we had those big things accomplished. So that is one of my tips also, is get all those big transitions out of the way before you want your child potty trained. So make sure that they're in the sippy cup that you want them to be in, or drinking from like a cup, or no cup whatsoever, no drinks at nap time or no drinks at bed. Make sure you make those changes before you want them to be potty trained, because any type of those big things just causes some regression in that potty training. And little boy agrees with me. All right. So anyways, so my daughter would have been potty trained like completely before we put her into her big bed. However, that put her back, and we kind of had to start over, and then it took until December to get her back to like where she needed to be. And then we were at like where we wanted her to be at with her cup and everything. My daughter has chosen to want a drink at night. She will not go to sleep unless she has a drink. So we let her go to sleep with the spout cup, and she still wakes up dry in the morning. We've had some accidents. Like, that's something that everyone should expect. You should expect accidents. Even if they're 100% potty trained, they're still not quite 100% potty trained. There might be some dribbles. You have to wait in line in public restrooms. You can't always just go in and go to the potty. So they have to kind of learn how to hold it. Or a gas station is 5 miles up the road, so they have to hold it, and things like that. And so that's where we've been at the last 6 months. Even though she was 100% potty trained, we still have had some accidents due to just like environmental things. Like there's a line, or we can't get to a potty just yet, or she has to go really bad, and daddy's in the shower, so she has to wait. Like, so just kind of that stuff has just put like just little tiny accidents. But otherwise, she is doing awesome. I cannot complain whatsoever. Again, like there's some kids that potty train in 2 days. Our process did take a little bit longer, but it was well worth it. And I think my daughter kind of knows what to expect and things like that. And just, she does like absolutely fabulous. So anyways, so I'm going to stop bragging and say that if there's any questions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.